proposals. And after that, you need to sign a subgrant agreement. What we have done is the subgrant agreement is already available at this point. So there will be no negotiation after if you are selected. You already read the subgrant agreement, and you will basically acknowledge that you will read, understood, and then we will go to the signature phase. So this is also important to check the agreement because you are already agreeing beforehand that you will sign if it is successful. And finally, when everything is signed, you basically start your project and we will try to provide all the support, both administratively or technically, you will need from us. Just a few basically screenshots from our website. You can go to the Imagine Beyond 5G website. The first open call is there. You can basically see all the documentation. I would suggest to read maybe a guide for applicants first to see what is basically this call is about. The grant agreement, the proposal template is there as well. The facility description and the documents for vertical experiments and platform extensions, you can also find it there. So you will also find the submission of proposal, the button there, join Imagine Beyond 5G now. When you click that, it will take you to the submission portal where, as you can see, the deadline is September 1st. You can basically submit your proposal and you can update it up until the deadline as much as you can. So my last slide, you please, for more information, reach out to us either from our website. We have an open call specific email address here. Just send an email or follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn. For those who want to learn more, we have a webinar tomorrow. So you can basically register from our website. And join us to ask questions or to learn more about Imagine Beyond 5G open calls tomorrow. So thank you very much. Sorry about the initial glitch, but if there are any questions, I'm happy to take.
Thank you very much, Özgü. I know there are already some questions in the chat.
Okay.
And Luigi has his hand raised. So we will just take your question, Luigi, and the others, please check the chat because we are a bit tight on time.
Okay. Thanks for this presentation. Very interesting. I'd already look at the open call test. I'm wondering if a partner or a consortium that is going to submit, which is not within the 4 countries where the facilities are available for the deployment. I'm wondering if they can do a sort of pre-test, pre-deployment in other countries, for instance, in Italy.
So this is something we were discussing. I think we got this question maybe from you. So that it is definitely possible to basically submit other than these 4 countries. We will provide some APIs, remote access to the facilities. So in that sense, I think it is also kind of desirable for you to do the initial tests in your own facilities, but ultimately you basically need to use Imagine facilities to kind of finalize or to showcase all of the results. So we will try to address this in our frequent asked questions as well. But I think the point is you can submit anywhere that is eligible to submit. Don't need to be in those 4 countries. And as long as the experiment plan is justified and the final result is done in Imagine, it is perfectly fine. And I will try to answer the chat questions maybe while the next one takes the presentation. But please join us for the webinar tomorrow, and we will be happy to provide more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Özgü, and thank you also to Anna, who got in touch with us. And now I will give the floor to Anna Galezza Sorry if that's not the correct from target X.
No worries. Yes, 1 moment. I just need to share the screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aneta Gałązka, and I'm representing the Fundingbox company. We are responsible for the management of the open calls in the Target X project, and we also provide much more opportunities, so you can come to our community and check them out. So what the Target X is about? So the Target X is the project coordinated by Fraunhofer, and we have 14 consortium partners from 6 countries. And our vision is to strengthen important economic sectors in Europe by integrating 5G and 6G, accelerating the digital transformation. So what kind of support do we offer? So we offer 60,000 euros per one entity, and we are looking for, in the first open call, approximately 50 entities to fund, because we are looking either for individual entities or micro consortium composed of 2 SMEs. We don't know how many projects we can fund in the first open call, because it depends on the submission of the project. So if we receive more individual entities, it means we can fund more. If we receive more micro consortium and micro consortium projects, then we can fund less. The open call of the Target X is available since the 9th of May, and it's open by 26th of July. So to be eligible, you have to be legally registered as the SME. This is the most important thing here, and prior to the launch of the Target X first open call. So your SME needs to be registered before the 9th of May. We are looking for the projects in main 4 verticals, which is manufacturing, energy, automotive, and constructions. And in later slide, I will show you more information about those verticals. The projects, they are going to achieve the TRL 7 during the support program. You will start from TRL 3-4, which is preferred, but of course, if this is less or more, please don't hesitate to submit your proposal, since a lot of factors are important, not only TRL. So very important thing, if you are for-profit company, the maximum grant amount is 70% of the eligible costs. So this is not 70% of 60K, but this is 70% of the eligible cost. It means that you need to prepare the budget for 80-something thousand euros. So the 60K is the 70% of your costs. Of course, if you apply as the micro consortium, then you will receive 120,000 euro. So what are the criteria? First of all, we recommend you to read the guide for applicants. We have a lot of information there, how to be eligible and what the program is about. Very important thing, you have to use our system, Fundingbox system. You have to be on time. We really aware you that waiting until the last moment can be very risky, because internet can be spoiled, anything, and then you will not submit your proposal. The project needs to be written in the English language. It has to have European dimension. And of course, very important is the absence of conflict of interest with the consortium partners. There are some limits on the FSTP, so you cannot receive more than And here you will find the more information, the guide for applicants, and you have to, of course, accept the open call rules. What's more, if you apply as a micro consortium, then the consortium must be composed of one entity acting as technology provider and one entity as end user, or both entities can be end user. This is also very important. And the entities have to be established in any of the member states of the European Union and associated countries to Horizon Europe. At the moment, the United Kingdom is not eligible. This is very important information. How the support program looks like. So as the beneficiary, you will receive the fixed lump sum. So it means that we don't require to show us the accounting documents or to prove the cost incurred, but the lump sum is that you need to deliverables, you need to pass the milestones, and then we will pay you on the basis of the acceptance of the deliverables. So in the Target X, we have 3 stages. The first one is the individual mentoring plan, which is delivered at the beginning of the support program, and this is created together with the mentors. Then in the middle, the project development report and market uptake report at the end, in total up to 60,000 euro. Okay, so now a little bit about how to apply. So as I told you before, we have the specific verticals, but within these verticals, we have 48 topics. When you go to our website, you can go to the documents with those topics. This is called Annex 1 Topics Description, and you can see each topic described. So only if you apply to the specific topic, you can be eligible. This is the example from the title 1. So you can find the summary of the topic, the scope, the objectives, and the description of the ideal candidate. This is our website, so we recommend you to open the website and what you can find inside. First of all, you need to sign up to Fundingbox platform, and then please go to the documents. Here you can find the guide for applicants with all of the information and the frequently asked questions. You can see the deadline, which is 26th of July at 5 p.m. But as I said before, please don't wait until the last moment. And if you are ready, after reading the documents, after choosing the specific topic, you can go to the button Apply Now. So when you start the application, you can see 10 sections. You can always add a contributor, so somebody from your consortium or even from your company to support you in preparation. So you need to fill in some basic information, then some you will see some explanation of the section, and if you see the asterisk, it means it's mandatory to save. Then some legal information and short information about the project, and we are going to the sections which will be evaluated by the evaluators, which is excellence, impact, and implementation. Of course, we are asking you for some statistical section for European Commission, which is not mandatory, ethics of assessment, very short section, declaration of honor, and processing of personal data, which is GDPR clause. If you have any questions, we recommend you to come to the help desk. So this is our community. You can also find some questions already asked, so maybe they will be helpful for you. Or you can, in general, search our IoT community. You can use our help desk email. You can go to our main project website to get to know more about the TargetX project. And here you can find info day. So the next info day, which is more Q&A session, we are planning for the 5th of July. So this is 3 weeks before the end of the open call. So we recommend you to come there and come with your technical or some application submission questions. So then we will provide you more information. And here you can see the selection process. So if you are chosen as the after the long evaluation process, so first of all, we check eligibility, then we check if you are in out scope of the target X, then you are evaluated by external evaluator, and then the final list is validated by our selection committee. Then you will go through the formal check, which means that we will check if your entity is the SME and all of the formal things here. Then you will go through the FSTP agreement signature, matching with the mentors and writing the individual mentoring plan. Then 3 stages, FSTP payments, and then this is the end of your support program. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, here you have my own address email and the email which is for the help desk of TargetX. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot to you, Aneta, for being here today. So we have a couple of minutes for 1 or 2 questions. So if somebody would like to ask something right away, we have Aneta with us.
If you don't have questions now, you can also join our webinar the 5th of July and come with more questions.
Exactly.
Okay. Jessica, there is also a question in the chat box from Paolo Di Francesco.
Yes, I think it's for Osgu.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, you can also ask anything to Aneta from now onwards in the chat if you are staying with us for a little while. Okay, so our next, sorry.
Just a comment, going from TRL4 to TRL7 is not feasible for me, I think.
Yes, but sometimes we see from our different projects that for some companies, when they pick TRL4, they are in a really different TRL. So sometimes this is beginning of TRL4, sometimes end of TRL4. Sometimes companies, they don't know how to assess it properly. That's why this is a very this is quite, I would say, just for you to know what we need in general. But, you know, TRL4 for some companies, it's a different one. And also probably it's all the topic affects the situation, because in different topics, the TRL can mean, okay, we can go quickly to TRL7, but in some we cannot, as you said. So yeah, this is very general rule.
Thanks. So now I will give the floor to Aphrodite from Hellenic Dronepot. I hope you can already see the presentation.
I can see it. Can everyone hear me well?
I can, so I hope the rest.
I'm sure someone will let us know in the chat if that's not the case. So good afternoon, everyone, from me as well. Thank you, Osgo and Aneta, for the presentations, and thank you, Jessica, for handling our presentation. It's only about 4 pages, so I think it will not be so tiring. As was said, my name is Aphrodite Sakelaropoulou, and I'm here representing Hellenic Drones, and we'll be briefly talking to you about the Hellenic Dronepot, which is a revolutionary initiative that is facilitating innovation in the European ecosystem. So quite a different presentation from our side. Before we delve into the details, let me start by, of course, extending my gratitude on behalf of Hellenic Drones team, and by extent, the Hellenic U-Space Institute, which is our adjacent NGO, for this opportunity to present.
I will begin by giving you just a short introduction into our concept, proceed by presenting our services and capabilities in a bit more detail, and then close out with our vision for the future and the collaboration with this initiative. So if I could just next page, please. So the Hellenic Dronepot is located within the Mesologi Airport in Greece, and it brings together transnational aviation experts, policymakers, and public authorities, serving as a hub for collaboration, innovation, and the advancement of the field of unmanned aerial systems, advanced aerial mobility, and of course, adjacent technologies. Our facility is an innovative space that doesn't only meet, but also surpasses domestic and international standards for advanced aerial mobility. As the first drone port in Southeast Europe, we aim to engage stakeholders in a pan-European context, as opposed to just a Central and Western European one. We are a certified U-Space center and test site, where the development and testing of UA systems and technologies can take place, including, of course, communications, with the utmost safety and security within a location that we have strategically chosen for its ideal site morphology and its accessibility. We boast a highly skilled team of personnel who provide expert support to ensure smooth operations within the drone port, and comprehensive testing and demonstration capabilities, where companies and organizations can bring their technologies to our site for rigorous testing, and showcase their capabilities to potential partners, investors, or clients, in addition to cargo handling facilities, enabling seamless transportation of goods, refueling services, supporting both traditional fuel and electric powered systems, of course, and hangar space, providing a secure environment for storage and upkeep. So it is a fully functioning airport, not a commercial one, but a fully functioning one, and a drone port testbed as well. Our most relevant capacity for the purpose of this meeting, and the spoiler, I guess, that Jessica was alluding to previously, is event holding and preparation, as we have extensive experience developing and presenting research and innovation events, meetings, and workshops for national and transnational collaborations and projects, including under the Horizon umbrella, as well as Erasmus, but even smaller projects similar to this initiative or the ones that have been presented really helpfully before this presentation by Ozgu and Aneta. So what we are proposing is to hold a one-day convention in this space, including networking events, keynote speakers, and perhaps even demonstrations, garnering participation from interested European SMEs, of course, including everyone here, but also beyond this room, and our larger network of industrial and regulatory partners to showcase their work as well as the work of this initiative and its 6G follow-ups and any follow-ups after this. So as I previously mentioned, we have this experience in national and transnational collaboration as members of the European network of U-Space stakeholders and the joint European Drone Association, as well as through numerous R&D project collaborations, reflecting our commitment to fostering cooperation and driving innovation on a pan-European scale. We have established partnerships with organizations in more than 15 countries and have carried out more than 10 large-scale projects. I will bring particular attention to the Triton project under the 5G Loginov initiative, the results of which we demonstrated in the Copper Living Lab in Slovenia and presented in the IPC 23 conference, as well as the well-known completed Safir Med project and its current follow-up, Safir Ready, on advanced medical mobility and crisis response. Overall, we hope that the Hellenic Dronepot serves as a test bed and a space and stands as a beacon of innovation in the European ecosystem. We have state-of-the-art facilities and expert personnel and as a wide range of services that I have outlined above. And we think we are an ideal destination for companies, researchers, and policymakers that are seeking to push the boundaries of any advanced technology and test new ideas. So thank you so much for your time. We are open to any questions now, and I will also leave my email and the company email on the chat, in addition to the ones that we have presented here. So that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Afroditi. So of course, maybe we have some immediate reactions right now. And thanks especially on behalf of the SME Working Group for extending this invitation to host maybe some event in which the group could gather and check maybe your facilities, doing some networking and so on. So now I will see if somebody would like to just add.
Again, from my side as well, if nothing is coming to your mind right now, as I said, I've left my email. You can feel free to contact us at any other time. I know sometimes after a presentation, it's difficult to digest all of the information straight away.
Exactly. And again, if you are here with us for the whole meeting, I guess everybody can feel free to just write you. And thank you very much again. So our next speaker is Pierre-Yves from 6GIA, who will present the latest developments in SCODINET. So Pierre, you are very welcome.
Yes, thank you, Jessica, for the invitation. So glad to make the presentation of SCODINET activity. So I have been already presenting SCODINET some months or years ago, but I think it's good, yes, to have an update about our activity. So we try to share my screen. Let me know if you see it.
We can see it now. I don't know if it's possible to put it in presentation mode.
Yeah, here we go.
Perfect.
Okay, great. So I will try to go fast. Okay, so the activity of SCODINET, the Smart Connectivity Digital Innovation Hubs network, is supported by the AOTI, the 6G SNS Industry Association, and the 6G Start project, which is the support action. Just to maybe to put all people on the same level. So just a short definition of digital innovation hubs. This is the large initiative developed by the Commission with regard to the Digital Europe program. The ambition is to try to digitalize or facilitate the digitalization of the European industry, and using competence centers closely linked with a regional ecosystem in order to facilitate development of digital infrastructure. So today, there are a number of digital innovation hubs which has been funded by the Commission. So there are EDs, European Digital Innovation Hubs. There are more or less one per region, but there are also digital innovation hubs which are not funded by the Commission, but which are operating, in all the Europe. And for instance, in SCODINET, we have 93 members today, and half of them are EDs, all the other one are regular DIHs, which are also continuing to operate. So it's important, to animate all this community of DIHs, which are all obviously the same objective. So the main achievement. So this is a first slide. I will go through all these different topics right now. So just to make a short so figure, you know, of the journey of the digitization of the industry. So, you know, so first is obviously so the end customers, which are some requirements. So the DIHEs has the objective to what they call a digital check, so trying to identify so which process in the industry could be digitalized. Then so there are description of use cases and technology. Then so as Codinet, so we are facilitating, you know, the search for solution with the replicability that I will explain you later on, and then so try to search additional funds also to make the development and to implement the solution in the industry. So that more or less, you know, so the role of the DIHs and the Codinet as a very high level. So looking to so what we have done, so we have a number of catalogs that I will try to explain you later on. There are a lot of cooperation that we are initiated because so the idea is really, you know, to establish and to develop a local ecosystem where all stakeholders could work together and also exchange best practices among DIHs, so success stories and so on. And so we have a request from DIH to try to establish a number of cooperation that I will try to explain you later on as well. Okay, so first, the first cooperation that we have established is with other thematic subnetworks because we are focusing on smart connectivity, so 5G, 6G, cyber, and so on. And there are other ones which are targeting other domains such as photonics, robotics, big data, AI, microelectronics, smart system, and so on. And so we are trying, you know, to work together in order to define what is our raison d'être and try to show to the Commission and to all the ecosystem so the added values that we are proposing. And the fact is, all these subnetworks have worked independently at the beginning, so they do not have the same service offer to the DIHs, and we are trying to align the service offer in order to bring, you know, a very high quality, well cooperate among all these different community. So it's important to show that so we are all cooperated all together, and sometimes some DIHs have are member of several subnetworks. In this case, so they will be so able, you know, to have similar services with all these different subnetworks. That's the first one. Second one is with EN, you know, so Enterprise Europe Network. So we have signed an MOU with them, and so the idea is to cooperate with this large community of SMEs, which are located all around Europe, and to establish local contact between DIHs, SMEs, and EN local administrative. So we are working, you know, on several topics, such as trying to map, you know, the technology provider with DIH that I will explain, the cooperation with the Digital Transformation Accelerator, the DTA, which is somewhere, you know, a project at European level, which is funded by the Commission and which has the objective to follow to follow so the activity of DIHs and the result of DIHs activities. That's so what we are doing. We have also cooperation with ESN Alliance, which is a European Startup Network Alliance. This initiative has been developed by so the 26 member states in order to align so the methodology to support so startups all over Europe. And so there are an advisory board in which Codinet has been invited. So it's also, in a way, to reach all this type of company. So we have also cooperation with African DIH, which is very key because the idea is to open the door of the European technologies to the African countries. So there are 5 projects in which we are cooperating, and so the idea is to reach all the DIH networks that they are putting in place in all these different countries. In order to promote European technologies and to push, you know, result of European project. And obviously, so it's also a way, you know, to try to align and to try to establish cooperation between European DIH and also African DIHs. And today, you know, it's covers a number of countries all over Africa. You see there, so maybe not all countries, but the most digital advanced countries. So where we have already some counterpart with which we are cooperating. Next, so activities that we have, it's what we call the technology provider catalog or the stakeholders catalog. So the idea is to try to put in place, a catalog where all type of organization could have an idea of who is who at local level. So we have, encompassing in one catalog, IoTI member, 6GAI member, NetworldEurope member, EEN member, ESMM member, 5G for smart connectivity testbed, SCODINET, so DIHs, in order to bring to all these different organizations the contact of all of these companies, in order to facilitate cooperation among us. And today, so we have, I think it's more than 700 entries, and so we have this type of map. And obviously people could look at their specific location and see who is around him in order to establish cooperation at local level. So that's something that we are pushing, and so we are trying to update this map time to time in order to be sure that at the end, so we are at the latest up-to-date level. So it's a long way, because it's so people are moving a lot, and sometimes it's difficult, to follow the evolution of all these companies. But so we are trying to make it time to time. And the last point that I would like to share with you is the replicability initiative. So the idea is to try to facilitate the reusage of result which has been developed and experimented by a European project. So within the AOTI, we have initiated, what we call replicability and scalability assessment tool, which is a tool which has a number of criteria which has been identified. And so through a questionnaire, we are able to provide a level of replicability of one of the other solution. And the idea, is to bring this level of replicability to Digital Innovation Hub, so that they can easily, found in our catalog. So this level, and so be confident, to the solutions that has been developed and experimented. So that, for instance, if one project from the Smart Network and Services General Taking has developed a solution on the use case, so it will appear in the catalog. So the tool, the assessment tool, will be used in order to provide a replicability level, and then a DH could reuse this solution, so in other location with their own customer, in order to accelerate the digitalization of the European industry. So today, so we have more or less 1,200 use cases and solution or enablers. So today, so the assessment tool is not completely has not completely run on all these use cases. So it's a very long journey, but so it's quite so normally in the following months, so we begin to have some level allocated to all these use cases in order to support the replicability. So a white paper has been published, and the tool has been published. So 1st of June, it is available, and tomorrow, so we have a webinar which will present, this replicability assessment tools in more details. So just to let you know as well that among the 35 Smart Network and Services Core 1 project, so survey which has been done recently, so we show that 31 of them, are planning to develop replicability solution, which is very good, because so at the end, so we will also pass so this replicability assessment tool and allocate one level to this result as well. And so obviously publish it in the replicability catalog. So today, so the catalog is it's just a map, showing all the projects which are contributing to this catalog, all the use cases which has been developed and so as replicable. So we are more or less, 1,200, and all the verticals which are being targeted by all these projects, which is so quite large. all the verticals are available, which is very good because so DHEs are targeting several verticals, not only one in their local environment, and it's very interesting for them, to have this map and to get all this figure. So, that's more or less the process that we are willing to put in place. So we have the SMS project use case and solution, which has been developed. We are trying to run the assessment tool, put a replicability level, and then so bring this use case or solution in the replicability catalog, which is then so used by DH or others, obviously. But so we are trying to target DH today in our case. So that's more or less what I would like to share with you. So all the activities which is going on in the SCODINET, and so obviously I'm happy to have any question. And eventually, so this group obviously is open to everyone, and anyone is welcome to join. So we have a monthly meeting, and so we are trying also to report at the CG start level and at the SMS smart office level as well, in order to inform people about the evolution of this activity. So thank you, Jessica, for listening, and so I will be happy to any question if needed.
Thanks to you, Pierre, for the very interesting presentation. And I'm sure some people are maybe new to it, so it was very nice that you provided this overview. So now, because you have been very efficient, we have some couple of minutes for questions or comments that today's attendees might have. So please feel free.
No question. So anyway, for SMEs, for NetworldEurope SMEs, so so the main point is that if you so I have trying to update as you know, as I explained, this catalog of stakeholders. So I hope that you are in. Yes. Someone is willing to speak. No? Okay, and if you have also some replicability so solution or use case that you have developed in projects, so I would be happy to work with you in order to use this assessment tool in order to allocate one replicability level. So that's something that could be very interesting, I guess, for NetworldEurope SMEs.
Indeed, and I also heard somebody that maybe wanted to ask something, so. Okay, maybe not, but we still have the chat here, and if Pierre stays with us, and also you have his email, and yes.
Oh, that is a more academic exploitation. What about industrial exploitation?
Well, the point is that today, so we are trying to promote this replication.
Like I said, you can also maybe we can also, if we agree, if at least one or two, more than one partner agrees, continue to exploit the results and develop the results through the open source project.
Yeah,
and maybe we try to define a memory of understanding between memorandum of understanding between the partners, some of the partners at least.
So you mean if you have some if you have some industry solution or industry
no, it has
product,
to be established.
Okay.
No, we have to write it, and then those partners who agree with it, they have to sign it.
So I do not follow the.
But
Ricardo, I do not follow your point. So could you explain again your question, because
the advantage of doing a memorandum of understanding is that it shows that there has been discussion and that we have tried to find some type of collaboration for the exploitation, and I think this will look good. But then it's not non-binding, so
okay. So you mean
we
between
have to do anything?
Yeah, you mean between memorandum of understanding between technology providers and DH? That's right.
No, for open source, we have an open source project where we put all the results or we will put all the results of this project.
Okay.
So other partners could contribute to this open source project eventually.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Open source, obviously.
Yeah, we already have this project.
Yeah, open source.
And other partners could join, even if they don't actually contribute.
Yeah, exactly. So open source is key, obviously, because the main point that we need to also to take into account is the maintenance and the update of the solution, because so when end user has used a solution developed by a DH, so it's important for them to get all these update and eventually get some maintenance support at the end. And so I think it's at this start that a memorandum of understanding could be signed between the DH, so the end user, and the technology provider. So I think it's a good point, yes, to mention that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So now, please, again, feel free to reach out to Pierre or to write to him right now for more comments and questions. And I will give the floor to Maurizio Cecchi, I hope. It's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Hello. I have so can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Doesn't work. I don't know why. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so hello to everybody. My name
Maybe
is
what we can do is a draft a memorandum of understanding and sign it, eventually sign it after the end of the project. And then if the partner doesn't agree, then he doesn't sign.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to
at least
without a
elaborate.
presentation.
Sorry, Edgardo, if you could just now maybe speak directly to
At least elaborate a draft.
To Pierre, so we are moving.
And also the academic partners could participate now.
Okay.
I think he doesn't listen to us.
Yeah.
Edgardo,
yes.
can you listen? Don't think so.
No.
No, please.
Okay, so let's go to this the two final open calls that are planned after summer. Both of them, FIDAL and TrialsNet, are two very large projects under Stream D that are this large project for to build a new use case and trials to demonstrate the capabilities, the impact of 5G and beyond 5G. My name is Maurizio Cecchi from Institute Pew, and we are in charge of management of the two calls. The third one is FIDAL, Field Trials Beyond 5G. So the key objective is to support new use case trials for rapid prototyping and large-scale validation of advanced forward-looking applications. So, of course, the focus is on large-scale validation. Is why we have a lot of budget. We have 6 million euros for each project. So what is our vision? So vision is to create added value, to create a new impact, involving new actors through the open call. But the focus, please remember, is to perform 5G field trials of some heterogeneous vertical use cases that I will show to you. And of course, also ensuring an improvement of the needed testing infrastructure. So at the end, we want to demonstrate flexibility, user acceptance, and technology transfer, or what we are doing. And at the end, of course, if we do a good job, we will achieve sustainability and foster the further take-up through this invitation of new use cases and trials. If we go to the objectives, as we said, on this basis of the open call, having 6 million euros is going two ways. Going through use case and trials, they show new use case and trials, supported by the existing experimental framework. We will publish this framework that is based in 3 countries, Italy, Spain, and Greece. And in this case, if you would like to use the existing infrastructure and testing facilities, the maximum amount is 150,000 euros, funded 100%, and also including 25% of overheads, as usually done in European project. Just to mention about NetApps, because FIDAL is based also on previous project that developed some NetApps. So, and this, of course, will be listed and presented. And of course, would be very nice, is one of the priority of the selection, how these NetApps may be used in the new use case and trials. Then option 2 is produce at the same time use case and trials, but using new experimental framework. So it means outside the 3 countries, so covering any European location, providing this additional testbed infrastructure. So in this case, the maximum amount, the ceiling, is 250,000 euros. Also in this case, funded 100%. What are the sector, the verticals that we address? They address a special public safety, emergency, anything regarding to security and civil protection. We don't cover cybersecurity, anything that helps the security in cities in any kind of situation by any kind of authorities. Of course, cities, especially on the safety side, media, and Internet of Things. These are the verticals that are covered by the existing use case. You can find it through our website. And of course, we'll try to create more impact in this area. The launch is planned for September 2023. It is likely to be the 15th of September. We just need to have the final approval from the SNS and European Commission, but is very likely to be the 15th of September. And so, and we will, because in organizing new trials, there is a need of some time for the description. We will leave open for 3 months. After the evaluation scheme that will follow all the scheme that were presented by the previous colleagues of Imagine, TargetX, we will foresee the starting of the activity on March 2024, and indicative time of deployment, so of the contract with the selected applicants, will be 12 months. These are the main, of course, information. we have already a guide of applicants, but as we said, the Commission asked us to wait a little bit for final approval, so we cannot share, but of course we can give a lot of information if you contact us. So the second, I don't know, okay, perhaps it's better if we work on, we present both projects, and then we open to the discussion. Can you see it, TriasNet?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So also in this case is a StreamD project, a big project of 15 million euros, having around 6 million for the open call, a little less 5,580,000. This is a partner of 22 partners from 5 member states, including like FIDAL network vendors. Ericsson is the coordinator, network operators, Telecom Italia, Telefonica, Orange, and we have technology provider, verticals, academia, and others. Just to give more information in this case, the areas that are of interest of the project are public infrastructure, transportation, security and safety. In this case, there is also the part of e-health and also the part of cultural, tourism, and entertainment. We have already 13 use cases that can be seen through our website. And of course, we are designing and integrating platforms with advanced functionality and different architectures. And of course, we are defining the 5G and beyond 5G KPIs and KVIs. And for sure, it's very important through this process of open call to understand new requirements for coming generation of mobile networks. As I said, these are the areas covered: infrastructure, transportation, security and safety, health and emergency, cultural, tourism, and entertainment. And of course, the initial use cases are divided in these main areas. But of course, for the open call applicants, doesn't matter in which area. Is important that you address the verticals that I mentioned. So, as I would say that the general concept for this open call are identical in TriasNet and for FIDAL, because we want to involve new actors, support the needed infrastructure, and at the end invite a new use case and people deploying new trials. This will tune up our experimental framework, as well testbed and our facility. So we follow the same skill. So in the objective, there is a possibility to have new use case and trials supported by the existing networks, or there is the chance to propose use case and trials in additional places, in any countries of Europe, in any other location. In this case, the launch is planned in October, it's likely 15th of October, and having the onboarding of the activities in May of 2024. So I guess we will have time also through this working groups.
In one project where we participated, we created a spin-off. So now we're trying to make it, make it work.
Yeah, please, I have to.
Which is not easy.
And then the funding is 100% of cost. These are the sectors. As I said, in this case, we are even richer, because if you propose new use case and trials supported by the existing facilities, then the maximum grant is 200 kilo euros. For option 2, even in this case, it should be brand new use case and trials using private or commercial network deployments. The multiple beneficiary can apply with a maximum of 300 kilo euro grants, always funded at 100%. We don't want very large consortium, so in any case, we will accept maximum three partners for this small consortium applying for the open call. I don't want to repeat what you say, but of course, the content of the open call, beside the deployment of use case and the trials, we will expect the definition of the KPIs, key performance indicators, key value indicators. At the end, we want to see how we may attract new people to the existing infrastructure. Through option 2, also we want to address these complementary network access, because we said that we will accept also activity to having new testing infrastructure, of course, having in mind what is the evolution of 5G towards 6G. As I said, some deployments are available. All the information will be available at the beginning of October. The planning of the open call is mid-October. Onboarding the activity in May. And in both cases, in FIDAL and TrialsNet, we will have also the possibility to have this feasibility check. It means if people is not sure if their idea applies to one or the other project, there is a formal possibility to make this feasibility check. Then I'm not going on all the details of the evaluation, but of course are identical are the ones that were presented before. So we have independent evaluator. By the way, both open call will be published on Fundingbox and was presented before by our colleague from the Fundingbox team. So everything will be online, of course, no paper submission, but for all the details of the application form and the applicants, we have to wait after September because everything will be formally accepted by the Commission. This everything for us. Any question?
Thank you very much, Maurizio, for the very interesting presentations, both of them. So please prepare your questions, but we already have one in the chat from Paolo Di Francesco, which says, in case of one single partner, the partner will get all the amount, or there is a limit to the amount, referring to slide 8.
No, we don't have any limit. I mean, we want to have, of course, the best possible one. Of course, it's very difficult for one partner, especially if it is an SMEs, to cover all the use case and the additional experimental facility. So there will be, of course, by the independent evaluator, a check on what is planned, but we don't have any limit for the single partner. The limit is for the overall proposal. Anything else? Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. If somebody has some further questions, we still have a little bit of time, so do not hesitate to ask those. And I will just, in the meantime, quickly share the last part of the presentation. which is more focused on the working group, and I think you can see it now.
Yes.
Okay, great. So just a quick recap that we continue to grow. The working group continues to grow. We had 3 new members joining since May. We will be in touch with you, as we said, to send a form, because there are some, we found that there is some data which is outdated and we don't have the right contact details sometimes, and we would also like to gather some additional information to add in some reports when we speak about the SMEs and so on. Then just to tell you what's been happening in the past months, I had the pleasure to meet some of you in the EUCNC and 6G Summit. And it was really, really nice that in the closure day, it was highlighted the high participation in this year of SMEs. So I would like to have some more time to discuss your experience, if you were there, if it was a good time, if you found it useful, and if you're planning to participate next year. But I think, or I'm afraid that we will have to maybe postpone this. I also was interviewed as the chair of the SME Working Group for the evaluation of the 5GPP initiative. So it was a very nice interview that dealt with some of the topics that we discussed in our past meeting in May. Mainly, for example, how do we assess the openness of the SNS joint undertaking to SMEs compared to 5GPP, if we think it's easier or not, and some further questions from the perspective of the SMEs and so on. I think some other chairs from other working groups were interviewed, and this will, I'm not sure when it will be published, but when I have the confirmation from the person, I will ask if it's possible to share it with you, which it should be. Then last week, there was a 5GPP steering board meeting in Lisbon, and there is under preparation, possibly many of you already know it, like a sort of closure paper with some space dedicated to also the SME working group. And Nicola and I sent already our contribution to it. So let's see how it goes. We will also keep you posted. We also completed or the SNS project questionnaire that was shared or carried out among the phase 1 projects, and which touch the vision, technology, and market perspective of these projects, is finalized. There are some preliminary results. So I hope that by our next meeting, we will be able maybe to share some of them with you, because I think you will find them rather interesting, and it could be a very nice start to have some discussions around it. And then just very quickly, you know, we have the new LinkedIn page. It's going quite well. It was very useful for promoting the participation of SMEs and EUCNC. We are also promoting the success stories we collected in the last period, which I hope you find that also helpful, and as a way to reinforce your own promotion activities. And just please join and continue to send us material. You will also be able to find there information about the different events, about the papers, about the open calls, as many of those that we discussed today were already publicized there. So you can check those out for deadlines and information webinars, and just to have an overall idea. And there have been also some new changes in the website with the brochure banner. So the brochure is more visible, which, by the way, it was also disseminated in the EUCNC. Maybe those of you who were present found some small visit cards with a QR code, and I think it went pretty well. People were interested. And also in the website now we have a small LinkedIn icon, so it directs to our page. And just for our next step, very quickly, just to set up more or less the date for our next meeting. As you know, we agreed to meet bi-monthly. So that could mean that we should meet at the end of August, but maybe many of you are still on holidays or coming back. So it's up to you if we move that to the beginning of September. So maybe you can either write in the chat very quickly if there is some preference, or just if somebody has already an opinion. Or I might get back to you via email with a doodle, and we just solve it there very quickly before we all really go on the summer break. We already have some of our new next guests. So I think Joanna from EVOS I saw her today here, and I think she will come to speak to us about 6G BRICS open call. We will also have somebody from Stand ICT and somebody from Trust IT to talk about the vertical cartography and the standard structure. So all standardization progress. Of course, we continue to welcome your proposals to intervene. So we appreciate very much today's initiative from Hellenic Trons. We hope to follow up on that. And I think it's very nice if we could have all of you having some intervention and some proposal for collaboration within the working group. We also get to know each other best, which is very useful for these open calls where it's feasible to go with a small consortium. So that's another thing. If you are looking for a partner, for now we can be, intermediaries. So if you want to just raise your interest, then if there is some possibility to do some matchmaking, we will do our best. We will also resume the conversations on the position paper about the SMEs situation in the current SNS, alongside this set of actions or recommendations to support the advent of European champions in 6G. And we will follow up with the topics that emerge in our main meeting. So one of those was effectively the matchmaking and the possibility to enter in consortiums for the SNS projects. So we are already having some conversations on how to improve that, but first of all, we will need to listen to you and to, again, we have some preliminary feedback, but it would be good to go a little bit more in depth. So I will ask you maybe to do a little bit of homework, and so we are able to discuss this in a more in-depth manner, and how we can approach it from our side as a group and as a joint voice. So then we can bring this together to higher level instances. And then just again, a reminder, and especially now for summer, that everybody will be sometimes, or I hope everybody will have some break. That if you follow our social media, you will still be able to quickly get a taste of what's going on. Although hopefully it's just very slow and very relaxing news. But you have this tool available for you. So with this, I think we can close the meeting. But before that, if somebody would like to add some comment or just some observation, even some feedback from today's meeting, I think it would be very nice to hear from you. So I see our audience today is a little bit shy, but that's all right. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much again to our speakers for coming and telling us firsthand about all these opportunities. I hope many of the SMEs here today will take advantage of this and have a very successful participation. I will get in touch with you via email for our next meeting, and do not hesitate to reach to us. Blanca and I will be here, as well as Nicola. So we can close now, and I wish you a very, very nice day. And for those of you who are lucky already to start summer, a very nice summer break. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.